So today I've decided to work in the sketchbook, and I've sketched some figures out here. I've just used a woody stabilo to sketch them and try to keep them simple and interesting shapes. So a little bit more geometric, and I'm going to outline them with a background of black. And there is some black already, so I might have to change the dress in this case so it shows up. So this background page was just created with cleaning out my brush at the end of a session. I'm using a Liquitex flat brush here, paddle brush, which gives you a lot of control, but it's wider. So these come in various sizes. This one's about a 1 inch, and I like it because you do have the control as you're trying to cover up large areas. Trying to leave something that's going to resemble a leg here. So one of the things about abstraction is exaggeration, changing things. So in this, I may decide to keep my legs super skinny, just to exaggerate them. So you can exaggerate any of your shapes. And when you're painting figures, or anything for that matter, just think of everything as a shape. And it's so much easier than trying to think of it as a whole painting, or in this case, figure. Just going to form these legs a little bit more with the black. I don't know if I can scratch back into this much, but I'm going to try. Yeah, it's really already pretty dried up. Okay, so I'm liking how that's looking, but I will have to come back in and maybe put a little bit of color in some of these figures. Just so you can see the shoulder and stuff. So I'm just going to let this dry so that I don't smudge it as I go forward. I'm going to try and mix some green out of some sap green and some yellow. So I don't usually use mixed greens, but I have this and I want to use it up. So I'm trying to get something that's similar to the color over on my painting. And that's looking pretty good. Okay. I think that's good. Maybe a touch more yellow. It's just my sketchbook. It's nothing I have to make perfect. So I'm going to just come in and embellish this a little bit. Put some more color into it. Putting a little more white. Going to see if I can mix something like that. Not sure with the colors I have out, but I've got some primary blue and then this green yellow concoction that I have already mixed, so just trying to mix the two together. Okay, so it's definitely not as fresh looking. It's a little too green. So I'm probably not going to get the same kind of teal value out of this color mix. But maybe something that'll go with it. Okay, let's try this. So I want to bring this shoulder out so you can see it's not as vivid and it's not as blue, but it'll do the job. So I'm going to put some of that somewhere else. And maybe a little on this figure as well. So I'm going to try and match something close to that. So I've got some magenta, but this is a lot bluer. No idea what it was, probably some kind of a mixed color, but I put way too much blue in there. Okay, let's see how that looks. Yeah, close. Now you could redo your whole, all your colors. You could just go in and paint them, but I'm just trying to enhance what I already had. Okay, don't like how those two end in the same place, so make this one a little bit longer. So I'm going to come into this area just so that starts to look more like her arm. Just going to come back in around the head and perfect it a little bit more. Going to round her shoulder out here a little bit. Looking a little square. Now I'm wondering about some more white marks on. I like that. Just wondering if I can do a little kind of sketching. I'm using a jelly pen Jelly Roll number 10. These are made in Japan. I really like them. Make sure your paint is absolutely dry. So that kind of demonstrates. It's skipping a little bit for some reason. Maybe it's getting too old. But yeah, sometimes I just like to do a little sketching. Just to kind of loosen it up, I guess. Give it a little bit of a drawing vibe. That makes sense. Yeah, so it's a bit easy to get carried away doing this, so I think I will stop there. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe give it a try doing a black background for something a little bit different.